In this video I'm going to tell you exactly when the next alt season is going to start. The next big alt season might be already starting later in 2024. Of course I will also give you an update about Bitcoin and I will talk about the two altcoins Ethereum and Thorchain RUNE. There's a lot to talk about and a lot of news is coming into the market, so watch this video all the way to the end, like the video, and let's dive right into the charts. Before I start talking about the next alt season, I will have a look at Bitcoin first. On the 4-hour time frame, Bitcoin created this horizontal resistance area and we saw a lot of touch points in the past as resistance. And every time we touched a certain point, we came back down as we saw here. And also 2 days ago, we saw a big rejection from this point and we are now aiming for lower levels. So let's see if Bitcoin can reclaim this big resistance here on the top side and maybe force a break to the top side, retest it as support, and from there aim for higher targets. And this would be having a very bullish effect for Bitcoin on a shorter time frame. But for now, we are seeing this rejection for Bitcoin coming in at this horizontal resistance. So yeah, we can maybe aim for lower prices here. And we have to be a little bit patient that Bitcoin can come back to this resistance level here. And as we can see, this horizontal resistance on the daily time frame also dates back to a lot of resistance and support in the past on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. We are seeing a lot of touch points here on this horizontal level. So every time we touch this level, we interacted with the price. And that's exactly what we did earlier this week. So we are now seeing a bit of a rejection from this point. But we have to wait patiently that Bitcoin can maybe come back to this resistance area, break it to the top side and create more topside momentum. So for now it's looking a little bit more bearish than bullish. We created this huge low and after that we created this high. And now we want to see a higher low for Bitcoin unfolding. So if we can create a higher low and after that a higher high, then we can confirm the uptrend for Bitcoin. And yesterday we saw a little bit of a bullish day for the Bitcoin ETFs. We saw a total inflow of 11 million yesterday. And that's a little bit more positive, of course. BlackRock didn't buy or sell anything. Fidelity also bought for $16 million. And also the Grayscale ETF bought for 13 million. They also sold for 25 million, but that was out of their ETF with a huge commission. So after all, we're seeing now a little bit more bullishness coming into the market. And of course, we want to see that next spike to the top side for Bitcoin in the total cumulative inflow. And let's see if we can reach this $20 billion target in August already. And that can maybe send Bitcoin to new highs. And if we then have another look at the daily time frame for Bitcoin, we can see we created this all-time high in the beginning of March. And after that, we created lower highs eventually. And every time we created this high, we created more lower highs and we also created lower lows. So eventually the trend is now down on the daily time frame. And of course, we want to see a trend reversal happening for Bitcoin. And as I'm saying, we saw this low for Bitcoin unfolding. We are now making high. Of course, it is a lower high from here, so the trend is still down. But of course, we want to create a new higher high after this high and also a higher low. So if we create this, we can maybe see the trend reversal for Bitcoin happening. And of course, we want to also gain this high. So if Bitcoin can make a higher high after this high here, around the $68,000, we can really confirm the trend reversal and we can maybe aim for new highs. And also the biggest resistance here on the top side is the last big resistance for Bitcoin to break, and that will be around the $72,000. So first we have to create more momentum to the top side and then we can create more of a trend reversal for Bitcoin. And after that we want to see a retest of this previous resistance on the top side and eventually of course break it to the top side. And yesterday I posted this on my socials that we are about to enter massive bull territory. And every time 800 days after the last all-time high of the last bull run, we created a very much significant exponential move to the top side, just like every time we saw here. And now we are currently at this 800 days after the last all-time high of the last bull run. And currently we are at this stage. So let's see if Bitcoin can create more highs and make the next exponential move to the top side. And also we are 8% after the halving. And this could have a very bullish effect, of course, on Bitcoin, on the price. Because every time we were 8% after the halving, we saw a significant spike to the top side, just like we saw in the past. So let's see if Bitcoin can create this next exponential move to the top side and reach for new all-time highs. And of course, you came to this video to know when the next big alt season is going to be happening for the altcoins. And currently we are looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the weekly time frame. We can see here this horizontal level is very important for this dominance. And since the lows here of August 2022, Bitcoin is rising in this dominance. So the Bitcoin dominance is rising and we are now seeing this rising wedge unfolding for Bitcoin, and this is bearish bias pattern. So eventually this bearish bias pattern may break down to the downside and retest this previous support as resistance. And if we then are going to see a huge drop to this horizontal level to turn this resistance into support, this will ignite the next big alt season, because the Bitcoin dominance is dropping very fast, and that means that altcoins are gaining momentum against Bitcoin. So when this pattern breaks down, we are most likely going to see the next big alt season. And this is also a very interesting chart to look at. This is the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, and we are already for 2 years into this falling channel, and we can see a lot of touch points on the top side as resistance and also on the downside as support. And every time we touch a certain resistance or support, we saw a big bounce. And last week we saw a huge bounce from this low support, and we made a very interesting bounce from this level. So let's see if this pairing can come back to this top side, and eventually we want to see a break of this pattern and then an exponential move to the top side. So in the last 2 years it was better to hold Bitcoin instead of Ethereum, because Ethereum was losing momentum against Bitcoin. So this falling channel is a very bullish bias pattern, because we can see a lot of consolidation to the downside, and we are now waiting for this bullish break. And if this chart is going to break bullish, we will see Ethereum is gaining momentum against Bitcoin, and when Ethereum starts to pump, a lot of other altcoins can maybe follow in their footsteps. And in the past we saw that multiple times, just like we saw here. We saw this huge alt season unfolding in the summer of 2017, and also here in the last bull run we saw this alt season unfolding, and that was in the beginning of 2021. So let's see if we now can maybe create an exponential move just like we saw here in the past, and then we can confirm the next big alt season. So we were already talking about Ethereum, so let's have a look at Ethereum. We can see Ethereum was bouncing from this lower side support range, and I was warning you that I've been buying at this green box of accumulation, and I bought at these stages, and we're now seeing a beautiful bounce to the top side. So let's see if Ethereum can come back to this first big resistance around the $2,900, because in the past we can see this horizontal level was acting as support. And now I think Ethereum will maybe retest it as resistance. So also from here, I'm taking a lot of profit here, because from these lows, when I was buying, I'm already up for 30% if we are going to come back to this resistance level. So I always take my profits at resistance and I buy more at support. So the first big resistance will be around the $2,900, and let's see if Ethereum can gain more momentum and see a bullish break, and then also of course more bullish topside momentum. But we can also maybe see a rejection from this point. So if you're taking profit at this stage and Ethereum is going back down, then you can generate more Ethereum when you are buying in back lower on lower prices. But if we have a look on the lower time frame for Ethereum, we can see Ethereum was creating this rising wedge formation, and yeah, we broke bearish yesterday. And we are also now trying to see a retest of this previous support to turn it into resistance, so we can maybe aim for lower targets. But this is looking a little bit more bearish than bullish. So let's see if Ethereum can gain more strength, come back inside of this rising wedge and invalidate the breakdown. So we want to see a push to the top side so that Ethereum is going to create more bullish momentum. And another very interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Thorchain RUNE. We can see Thorchain RUNE is in this huge falling wedge formation on the daily time frame. We can see multiple touch points on the lower side as support and on the top side as resistance. This price is getting squeezed into this apex, and eventually we are going to see a huge breakout either to the top side or either to the downside. But this falling wedge formation is a typical bullish bias pattern, and it tends to break to the top side more often. So I think we are going to see a bullish break, a retest of this previous resistance to turn it into support, and from there we can aim for higher targets. And the top side of this falling wedge formation will be the breakout target for this falling wedge, and that will be around to $9.5. And earlier this week we already saw the significant bounce from this lower side support. So let's see if Thorchain can maybe force a break to the top side and create more bullish momentum. So this could be a very perfect trade to make, and you have to wait for confirmation of the breakout. So we want to see a daily candle close above this level, then we're going to see a retest of this previous resistance to turn it into support, and on this retest you can enter the market in the long and aim for high targets, and this will be a very perfect trade to make. And if you made it all the way into this video, I want to ask you, which altcoin do I have to chart in the next video? Let me know in the comments below. Please give this video a like if you find this video useful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.